Cost of quality, there are two types. Cost of good quality and cost of poor quality. Good quality, prevention, appraisal. Poor quality, failures. That means failure can be internal, failure can be external. If you detect the failure, it is internal. If customer detect the failure, it is external. Internal happens before dispatching the product. External happens after dispatching the product. Appraisal means all the checking activities. You check whether your plan is going properly or not. Prevention, all your planning activities, quality planning, isn't it? Quality assurance activities. And appraisal means quality control activities. So if you are part of the quality control activity, then you must see to that you do minimum appraisal and then understand more, right? If you are part of the prevention, and see to that your plans are always efficient. You put one plan, but something else happens, and that is also an efficiency. You can identify sometimes project from cost of good quality also, but before identifying projects from cost of good quality, you must work on cost of poor quality, right? There is no point no focusing on the third floor if you have a problem with the foundation, right? So cost of poor quality should be your priority over the cost of good quality. So poor quality means failures. Now, good quality, prevention. All of you are today attending the training program. Yesterday also you attended the training program. There is a lot of cost associated. Your money, your time, your effort, everything is involved. That is called cost. And tell me, attending the training, is it a cost of good quality or cost of poor quality?
Cost of good quality.
Cost of good quality.
Training your employees, having a quality management programs, QMS software, process control, employee training, design reviews, market survey, pilot project. These are all no unavoidable cost of prevention. You are doing all these things only to prevent the failures from happening. If you don't train yourself, then your project can be a failure, and that is why you are getting trained. Anything you do to prevent a failure is called prevention, and the cost associated is called cost of prevention. Now, cost of appraisal. Before all of you appearing for the black belt exam, we are making you appear for the mock test, appear for the mock preparation, preparatory exam. What is this? We are doing a self appraisal before going for the final performance. We are doing a self appraisal. So why are you doing? We want to understand whether the prevention measures are taken care or not, isn't it? Whether the plan is getting implemented or not. So the cost associated is called appraisal cost. And you have 4 mock exam. If you do very well in the 4 mock exam, it is 100% damn sure you will get your black belt certification. So any inspection, testing, equipment monitoring, audit, equipment calibration are all appraisals, and the cost associated is cost of appraisals. And now cost of poor quality.
Sir,
Suppose
one question, sir.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Sir, if I take an example, if a quality failure occur on my assembly line, pin miss happened in my product, okay. Then I put up a Poka-Yoke in my assembly line. Then cost of putting up a Poka-Yoke over the station will be the cost of prevention, na?
See, you can validate that using cost benefit analysis. The Poka-Yoke becomes a solution now. You should not see a solution as a problem right now, right? Cost of Poka-Yoke is the solution. Problem is something else. And you think that Poka-Yoke can be a solution. Now for the solution, how much it is costing? So what kind of benefit it can get you over a period? It can be 1 year, it can be 3 years, right? And so you can try to justify your solution with your management. If your management is convinced, then your Poka-Yoke can be installed. If the management thinks benefits are fewer, instead of that, they can continue living with the problem, then your Poka-Yoke may not be installed, right? So take it up during the cost benefit analysis. Clear?
And one more thing, sir. We put Q gates in between the internal systems. For example, if I'm supplying from laser department to bending department, blanks of sheets, I put a Q gate at the laser department so that my internal customer is satisfied and I catch the rework and rejection over there only. So the cost of process and carrying in the Q gate will be the cost of appraisal.
See, appraisal cost is very simple. Appraisal is just you are doing inspection, you are studying, you are calibrating. You want to understand what is happening as of now. You don't make any changes. Please understand. Cost of appraisal is don't make any changes. Let the process run as it is. And then You are only checking whether, for example, you made a production schedule.
Right.
According to the production schedule, every single unit you have to produce 800 units. And now, will you go and check the quality when all the 800 units are produced?
No, sir.
Definitely, isn't it? 800 units you are producing. What is the point you producing everything as defective? So obviously, you will check some samples as 800 units are getting produced. Probably some 8 or 10 units you will check. And now what are you doing? You are doing an appraisal. By doing appraisal, nothing happens. You are not changing anything. Only you come to know whether people are producing as per the requirement or not. If your inspection is okay, then all 800 units can be packed and shipped. Otherwise, you will go for further investigation. So appraisal is anything you check to ensure your, the plan is going on properly or not, right? So
Sir,
that is,
is it okay to keep appraisal as part of process and not consider it as a loss?
from Lean's perspective, appraisal is considered a non-value adding.
Right, sir.
Because when you do an inspection, nothing happens to your product. Product remains as it is. So it is unproductive. It is non-value adding. So you are supposed, Lean expects you to eliminate that, but you cannot eliminate. You know why you cannot eliminate? Your capabilities are weak. If your capabilities are weak, then you have to do more inspection. So now your goal should be to reduce the appraisal quantity. Don't do more inspection. For example, when I keep on asking questions every single minute, will I be able to conduct a session? Difficult. So keep your appraisals as minimum as possible to the amount it is needed. But you keep on gaining your capability, one day you will understand inspection is not at all required. Because your capability is such a higher level, that day you can automate your process, make your machine take care of the inspection. Clear?
Right.
You call it industry 4.1, right? Internal failure, like the scraps, rework, productivity loss, material replacement cost, downtime, inventory cost, all of them are internal failures. And external failures, warranty claims, like the Toyota. You have seen the video yesterday. The Toyota cars were failing. That's a recall that went for a recall. Warranty claims means your product fails before the warranty period, and so you have to compensate. And product recalls, return cost. And recently in 2020, Ford had recalled 375,000 Explorer SUV vehicle in US and Canada. And for this recall process, customer will not pay anything. All the expenses should be borne by the company. Recall sometimes can kill your company. So you have to be very, very careful, which is one of the external failure, right? Brand damages, loss of customer, complaint resolving time. Now, when it comes to cost of poor quality, most of the time we think the cost of poor quality in our organization is only 4 to 5% of the sales. We think as if it is only 4 to 5% because only that much we have the habit of measuring. There are many things we don't measure. Only the visible portion of the failures we are measuring, and we simply think the cost of poor quality contributes to 4 to 5% of the sales. It is as similar as assuming that what we see here in the picture is the full iceberg. Are you seeing a full iceberg here? Obviously, no. This is only tip of the iceberg. The major portion of the iceberg is where it is hidden inside the water. The water is nothing but your inventory level. Please understand. You put more water, then what will happen? The iceberg will be completely hidden. If you keep more inventory, your organization will become highly smooth and easy. There will be no complaints at all. Do you want to run the show that way? Obviously no. So reduce the inventory, reduce the water level. You will see more problems, right? And then when you see the full iceberg, you understand 20 to 45% of your revenue you are losing in the form of cost of poor quality. But what is your profit margin? Profit margin is only 8%. But what is your cost of poor quality? Running in the order of 20 to 45%. Why do you want to charge your customers more for your product? Rather, focus on reduce the cost of poor quality to double or triple your profit margin. So the examples of visible portion of the failure, rejections, warranty, repair, rework, these are all visible. But what is invisible? All these things you are going to learn as part of the training program, right? Longer setup time, longer cycle time, excess inventory, most of them are lean. lean tools. Using the lean tools and techniques, you can reduce. The focus of Six Sigma is merely on defect reduction. All else will be taken care by lean. By mastering the lean principles, lean tools and techniques, again, you can identify n number of projects. Cost of good quality, graph wise, there is a cost of good quality. You know, initially it will be low, and if you expect higher quality, then your cost of good quality will be more, because the x-axis speaks about quality level. You want high quality, then do more of prevention, more of appraisal. And initially, when your quality levels are low, failures will be very high. When your quality levels increases, failures will come down. You calculate poor quality cost as well as good quality cost, add them together. That is called total quality cost. Look at the way your total quality cost is flowing. Initially, it is high, and then gradually it comes down. At particular point, it becomes minimum, and then again it goes, it improves, right? So where do you want to stand in terms of your quality? And that you will understand in the next slide. And as you know, the cost of good quality is our prevention and appraisal, and cost of failures are nothing but the internal failures and external failure. Now, the red color represents your cost curve. Cost of quality, cost of manufacturing, you put everything, right? Or otherwise, you call it cost of quality. So that curve is red. Now, this curve is your revenue. At a particular point, you see a huge gap exists, isn't it? The height between the two curve is maximum at this particular point. That means your profit is maximized here. What is the quality level at which your profit is maximized? This particular point. It is better to stop here. This is called optimum quality or acceptable quality level. Going beyond the acceptable quality level requires proper justification. Otherwise, it is not advisable going beyond acceptable quality level. If your products are inferior, even at the expense of your profit, you can improve the quality. If your products are already doing well, absolutely there is no necessity. You must have a strategy to go beyond acceptable quality level, or you call it optimum quality. And now, cost alignment, your assurance cost, prevention cost, appraisal cost, failure cost, and that will make your quality cost a bigger quantity. And now what you need to do is you increase your assurance and prevention. If you increase your assurance and prevention, what will happen? That can even reduce your appraisal as well as the failure. Appraisal reduces and failure reduces drastically. This is called cost alignment, and putting additional 1 rupee in prevention will save you 10 rupee in correction, 100 rupee in failure. Saving 1 rupee in prevention sometimes might take you to lose 10 rupee in correction and eventually 100 rupee in failure. This is called 1-10-100 rule, and use it properly. So which of the following best describes internal failure cost? There are several definitions given. In your opinion, what is internal failure? A failure happens before dispatch, and you yourself detect the failure. That is called internal failure. And you can impact the cost of poor quality by continuously improving your sigma level of each and every CTQ. Many people think sigma level is an award, or a sigma level is a title, or sigma level is a certification and is applicable to a product. Now I am telling you, sigma level is applicable only to the CTQs. A product can have 100 CTQs. So 100 sigma level you must measure. If all 100 sigma levels are 6 sigma, then only you can call your product as a 6 sigma quality product. One of the CTQ is problem, customer is going to throw away your product, right? So you cannot call, there is no point calling a product as a 6 sigma product when you have a problem with a single CTQ, right? All CTQs should be great. So we have discussed all these things, and this is only a summary of it. So understanding the core business process, aligning the improvement efforts, and policy deployment system are prerequisites for project identification. Generally, project selection is a teamwork. Project identification selection is a teamwork. Involve the project champions, then only they will allocate the resources and remove the roadblocks during the project. And similarly, involve the master black belts and other black belts. And at the operational level, projects are identified from VOC, VOB, and COPQ data. A CTQ tree is a tool that translates VOC into measurable CTQs, right? And cost of quality includes prevention, appraisal, internal and external failure. This completes our project identification.